Hello, this is Robin Hawke from Inspired Spaces. As we launch our online interior design services, it's important that you understand how to measure a space up so that we can design within that space. So what I'm going to do is use part of a current floor plan that we are renovating, so it's just a small section, and identifying how we measured this space up and the information that you need to actually note yourself for your own area. Now, the tools we require are obviously a measuring tape. If you have a laser measure, fantastic, but you don't have to go and buy one. You could try any of the measuring apps that you put on your phone. To date, I haven't particularly found any overly successful, but if you've got some, let me know. Graph paper or plain paper, obviously pen, pencil, and sometimes you can actually use free SketchUp or some other planning one to put your measurements in and send it across to me. What we do need to do is make sure you measure every single room, including the location of the doors, the windows, any quirky little spot in the space that we need to know, the furniture that you are keeping, and we need to know what the width of that is, the height of that, and the depth of that piece of furniture. Is there any particular artwork you're keeping, or lamp, or rug? Again, we need to know those measurements and take the photos, and as you will do, you'll have your own private Pinterest board, and all that information will be stored there. So to start with, whenever we're starting to measure up a new space, what we do is we try and find a central wall. The reason being, if your measurement's out slightly and I was to start with this wall, then the entire house would be out with the measurements. So we always try to find a central wall in a space as the core starting point. Now, in this particular example, we used this wall here. So what we would do, and I'll just use the lines, we would measure from there across, and we would note the measurement and note it down, ideally in millimeters, but if you're more comfortable doing centimeters, that is not a problem. I would then we measured from the width across there to there, and we would also measure this measurement from here to here. We would then also measure from here to here. We measured that measurement's there. So you can see how, if we've got an odd shaped room, how we get the key measurements to be able to work out or to be able to create the space. We'd also take the measurement from here to here. And I think you get the idea. You do that with all the rooms. You go from there across the width, and then you do depth or length, and again, note it. Please also note your ceiling heights. You will notice in this plan, this house is a split level house, and the reason why I've chosen this plan as an example is that the ceiling height in different levels is different heights. So in the bottom level, we've got a ceiling height of 24, 23. Now the standard you will find usually in Australia is 2400 to 2700. But because this has got a rake ceiling, we've actually got one corner of this room in this section here that is 3.951 meters high. So we need to note those little things. You'll also note in this particular one, we would need to measure the space between there and the stairwell so that we know. Now, all those little things are important and taken into account. When I've got plus 94 here, this means that this landing is 940 millimeters off the bottom floor here. And we'll also measure how far our stairs come out in terms of the depth of it, the width of them, like so. The next thing you need to measure for me is your doors. Now, in this case, there is no need to measure the architraves. We're going to measure between the architraves only. And please note the position of the door swing, which way it goes. We also need to know what that measurement is between the wall and where the inside of the architrave starts for the door, so we know the positioning. We do exactly the same thing with the windows. We measure the width of the windows between the architraves, so inside the sill. I measure the distance between the window and the wall on both sides. The only other main thing you need to really understand with a measuring windows is we need to definitely have the height of the floor, and so I'll just bring this one up for you to show. So when we're measuring here, we measure inside the sill from here to here. We measure the height, but we also measure how far off the slab it is, so off the floor. Where does the bottom of the sill start? And you measure that. That's very important that we do that. So don't forget that when you do your measurements as well. Now, obviously, if I don't have adequate measurements or I need more, I will be contacting you and giving you more instructions. But this is just a guideline on how to measure up the room. It's very simple. And the biggest one, I think we've all heard it before, make sure you actually measure twice. So please, the measurements are extremely important, and the more accurate you are, the better I am at creating a space that is suitable for you. So again, you need to measure every room, every piece of furniture that you're requiring to keep any artwork or a decorating item that's rather large, or a rug, so that we make sure that they can be all included in your overall design. So thank you. This is Robin Hort from Inspired Spaces. Don't forget to contact us if you've got more questions about how to measure. Okay, looking forward to creating your wonderful home. Bye.